students, in this video I am going to discuss with you Joule-Thomson effect. Before going to our class, I want to say something. That is, here we can see the syllabus of the second year, Chemical Thermodynamics 1. That is Joule-Thomson effect, significance of term dou U by dou Vt, and liquefaction of gases. That means the application of Joule-Thomson effect is in the liquefaction of the gases. Okay, then derivation of the expression for Joule-Thomson coefficient and inversion temperature, and finally Maxwell relations. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. Okay, let us start our class. Joule-Thomson effect. It is when a gas under high pressure. When a gas under high pressure is allowed to expand under adiabatic condition through a porous plug into a region of low pressure. That is, here gas is expanding from a high pressure region to a lower pressure region. Hence, there occurs a change in its temperature. This phenomenon is termed as Joule-Thomson effect. Okay. Here we can see the Joule-Thomson experiment setup. Okay. That is, when a gas expands from a high pressure to a lower pressure through a small porous plug. That is, through a small porous plug means through a hole. This material is made up of so many holes, that is porous plug. That is, when gas expands from high pressure to a lower pressure through a small porous plug. That means through a small hole, it will cool. This effect is called Joule-Thomson effect, and this process should be adiabatic. That is, the gas is expanding adiabatically, and we can say like this also, that is, when a gas expands from high pressure to a low pressure through a small porous plug or through a small porous hole, there is a change in temperature. That is, the change in temperature produced when a gas expands adiabatically through a small hole from very high pressure region to low pressure region. This effect is called Joule-Thomson effect. Got it? In the next video, I am explaining the Joule-Thomson experiment and the remaining part. But in this video, I am only explaining what is Joule-Thomson effect and what is happening to the ideal gas and for real gas. That is, when ideal gas is expanded, there is no change in temperature. But real gas has a change in temperature when it expands. That is, Joule-Thomson effect is visible in the case of real gas, but Joule-Thomson effect is zero in the case of ideal gas. That is, in Joule-Thomson effect, the gas expands from high pressure region to low pressure region, and also there occurs a change in temperature. That means most of the gas get cooled in Joule-Thomson adiabatic expansion. That is, most of the gases gets cooled. A cooling effect is generated for most of the gases. Cooling effect is generated. Okay. And then what is happening to the ideal gas and real gas? When ideal gas is expanded, there is no change in temperature. Hence, we can say that the Joule-Thomson effect is zero for the ideal gas. That is, Joule-Thomson effect is 0 for an ideal gas. But what is happening to the real gas? When real gas is expanded adiabatically, has a change in temperature, this Joule-Thomson effect is visible. Okay, for real gas, Joule-Thomson effect is visible. Okay. Also, the most gases gets cooled. That is, cooling effect is generated means the most gases gets cooled in Joule-Thomson adiabatic expansion. But there is an exception. That is, for hydrogen and helium, they were giving heating effect when it is expand adiabatically. That is, rather than cooling effect, the hydrogen and helium is giving heating effect, that is warming effect. Okay. Hydrogen and helium giving heating effect. Next, I am introducing a term, that is inversion temperature. What do you mean by inversion temperature? That is, a gas gets cooled by Joule-Thomson adiabatic expansion only if its temperature is below a certain characteristic temperature. This temperature is called its inversion temperature. That is, the gas gets cooled, that is, cooling effect is generated after Joule-Thomson adiabatic expansion only if the temperature is below this temperature, that is below inversion temperature. That is, gas only gets cooled only below this inversion temperature. Above this inversion temperature, there will be no cooling effect. That is, above the inversion temperature, there is no cooling effect is generated. Only below this inversion temperature, that cooling effect is generated. Okay. That is, for most gases, inversion temperature are well above room temperature. Okay, that is, for most gases, inversion temperature are well above room temperature, and hence cooling observed, that is, cooling is observed during Joule-Thomson expansion for almost all gases. That is, almost all gases gets cooled after Joule-Thomson adiabatic expansion. But hydrogen and helium are giving heating effect when it is expand adiabatically. Okay, I am giving the reason for this. Okay, I am giving the reason for this. That is, for most gases, inversion temperature are above room temperature. Is above room temperature, and hence we can say that cooling is observed during Joule-Thomson expansion. Hydrogen and helium which show an increase in temperature. That is, increase in temperature means heating effect, warm, it got warm. That is, which show an increase in temperature during Joule-Thomson expansion because of its low inversion temperature. That is, minus 80 degrees Celsius for hydrogen, minus 80 degrees Celsius for hydrogen, and minus 240 degrees Celsius for helium. Okay, that is, hydrogen and helium which show an increase in temperature during Joule-Thomson expansion because of its low inversion temperature. Okay. Hence, if cooled initially to below their inversion temperature, hydrogen and helium would also get cooled. That is, helium is having minus 240 degrees Celsius, and for hydrogen minus 80 degrees Celsius. That is, inversion temperature of hydrogen and helium gas is minus 80 degrees Celsius and minus 240 degrees Celsius. Because of its low inversion temperature, they are showing an increase in temperature during Joule-Thomson expansion. Or below this temperature, below the inversion temperature, the gas gets cooling effect. That is, when these two gases expanded below this temperature, that is minus 240 degrees Celsius and minus 80 degrees Celsius, they show cooling effect. Okay. When these two gases expand below this temperature, they also show cooling effect. But under normal condition, because of its lower inversion temperature, they always show an increase in temperature, that is heating effect. Okay. Now next, explanation for the Joule-Thomson effect. Now next, the explanation for the Joule-Thomson effect. That is, in real gas. First case, in the real gas, there will be intermolecular interaction during expansion. That is, when a gas expands under adiabatic condition. When gas expands under adiabatic condition, that is, real gas expands under adiabatic condition, some work is done by the gas. Some work is done by the gas in order to overcome the intermolecular attraction between the molecules. That is, inside this real gas, suppose these are the molecules. There is some intermolecular attraction between these molecules. There is some work is done by the gas in order to overcome the intermolecular attraction between the molecules, or van der Waals forces of attraction between the molecules. There is a strong van der Waals forces of attraction between the molecules. That is, this is done at the expenditure of the kinetic energy of the gaseous molecules, since no heat is added to the system. That is, this is an adiabatic expansion. We have already know that in an adiabatic expansion, Q is equal to 0. No heat is added to the system. So, from the first law, we have delta U is equal to Q plus W. That is 0 plus W. Hence, we can say that delta U is equal to W. Here, work is done at the expense of the internal energy. We can say like this also. That is, here work is done at the expenditure of the kinetic energy of the gaseous molecules. Okay. That is, we have to remember one thing, that here gas is expanding adiabatically. We had already studied that Q is equal to 0 for an adiabatic process. And we can say that from the first law, we are getting this delta U is equal to W. That is, here work is done by the system and W is negative. Okay, here work is done by the system and the W is negative. Or we can say that here delta U is also negative and the internal energy of the system decreases here. That is, in Joule-Thomson adiabatic expansion, work is done at the expense of internal energy. In Joule-Thomson adiabatic expansion, work is done at the expenditure of internal energy, at the expense of internal energy of the system, which is a function of temperature. It is this internal energy, we had already discussed this in the earlier videos. That is, internal energy is a function of temperature. As a result, the temperature of the system falls. Temperature falls means what? There is a cooling effect. That is, cooling effect is generated. I'll explain once again. That is, delta U, that is internal energy, is equal to W. Here work is done by the system, hence we are taking work as a negative quantity. So we can say that in Joule-Thomson adiabatic expansion, work is done at the expense of internal energy of the system, which is a function of temperature. Hence, as a result, the temperature of the system falls. The temperature falls means what? Temperature is decreasing. That means a cooling effect is generated here. That is, for a real gas, there is a cooling effect that is called Joule-Thomson effect. This is the explanation for in the case of real gas. Okay. Now next we are discussing the ideal gas. That is, in the case of ideal gas, there is no intermolecular attraction. That is, there is no intermolecular attraction between the gaseous molecules. So, no work has to be done during expansion. For an ideal gas, there is no intermolecular interaction between the gas molecules. So no work has to be done during expansion. So Joule-Thomson effect for an ideal gas is 0. We can say that Joule-Thomson effect for an ideal gas is 0. That is, we are explaining why this is 0. That is, there is no intermolecular attraction between the gaseous molecules. So no work is done during expansion. Hence, the Joule-Thomson effect for an ideal gas is 0. Okay. These are the explanation for the Joule-Thomson effect in the case of real gas and in the case of ideal gas. That is, Joule-Thomson effect is of great practical importance in the liquefaction of gases. Liquefaction means what? Gas is converted into liquid state. That is liquefaction of gases. And another important application is in the tire valve. It is a practical case. In the practical situation, that is tire valve getting cold when you let out the air from a bicycle tire. Tire valve getting cold when you let out the air from a bicycle tire. Another important application of Joule-Thomson effect is in the case of refrigeration. That is, the cooling is produced in the Joule-Thomson expansion has made it a very valuable tool in refrigeration. And next, this is all about Joule-Thomson effect. That is, if you have any doubts, please ask questions in the comment box. I am giving answers for you. In the next video, I am discussing μJT, that is Joule-Thomson coefficient. A new term for you. It is Joule-Thomson coefficient, that is μJT. Okay, Joule-Thomson coefficient. Let us wind up this section. Thank you.